Everyone talks about failed mega projects like Jeddah Tower, but right now, billions of dollars are being burned on projects so insane, some engineers believe they may never work. This is your top 10 countdown of mega projects under construction, where the line between visionary triumph and spectacular failure is paper thin. Strap in. Number 10. The Gordie Howe International Bridge, a $6 billion border lifeline threading Detroit and Windsor together. Core challenge: a record North American cable-stayed main span braving brutal winters, high winds, and river ice. Why it might fail: schedule and cost shocks from supply chain strain, and complex binational security systems that must sync flawlessly. Estimated completion: 2025. Next, an 18-kilometer gamble under the sea. Number 9. The Fehmarn Belt Fixed Link, a $11 to $12 billion immersed tube tunnel carving a new Baltic corridor. Core challenge: fabricating and sinking 79 colossal elements with millimeter precision in shifting currents and tight weather windows. Why it might fail: environmental litigation, sediment plumes, and any leak at a joint that could flood a section. Estimated completion: 2029. Up next, the Alps get hollowed out. Number 8. The Brenner Base Tunnel, a $11 to $12 billion rail artery tunneling 64 kilometers beneath the Alps. Core challenge: squeezing through fractured rock, water-bearing zones, and high overburden pressures that can crush equipment. Why it might fail: unexpected ground bursts or inflows triggering cascading delays and claims. Estimated completion: 2032. Next, Japan bets on a floating train through mountains. Number 7. The Chuo Shinkansen Maglev, Phase 1 alone topping $50 billion to link Tokyo and Nagoya at 500 km/h. Core challenge: 86% of the route in tunnels through complex geology, plus regional water table concerns and permits. Why it might fail: regulatory gridlock and escalating power ops costs undermining the business case. Estimated completion: early to mid-2030s, and the UK digs into its own high-risk rail. Onward. Number 6. HS2 Phase 1, London to Birmingham, a $70 to $100+ billion saga after scope cuts. Core challenge: threading new high-speed rail through dense, litigious England while costs devour political capital. Why it might fail: partial cancellations leaving a stranded asset with crippled network benefits. Estimated completion: early 2030s for Phase 1. Across the Atlantic, a bigger cost bomb is ticking. Number 5. California High-Speed Rail, $100+ billion and counting to connect Los Angeles and San Francisco. Core challenge: seismically active mountains, dense cities, and an excruciating land acquisition maze. Why it might fail: politics and funding collapse before the coastal links are built. Estimated completion: the 2030s, if money and will hold. Next, a nuclear bet that keeps getting pricier. Number 4. Hinkley Point C, a $35 to $45+ billion nuclear power plant, racing spiraling costs and delays. Core challenge: first of a kind EPR build in the UK, with extreme QA, supply chain brittleness, and precision tolerances. Why it might fail: further overruns eroding public and investor support before first power. Estimated completion: 2029 to 2031. Now, the most controversial city ever proposed. Number 3. NEOM, the line. Cost: part of a $500 billion program. The line itself could run to hundreds of billions. Core challenge: maintaining structural, environmental, and logistical continuity across 170 kilometers of enclosed urban fabric. Why it might fail: unproven urban physics at this scale, ecological disruption, and social backlash over displacement. Estimated completion: phase through the 2030s. Before our final 2, China builds a dragon over the sea. Number 2. The Shenzhen Zhongshan Link, $12 to $15 billion over 24 kilometers of bridges, artificial islands, and a 6.8-kilometer immersed tunnel. Core challenge: watertight connections under busy shipping lanes, plus typhoon-grade structural resilience. Why it might fail. A single compromised joint or storm-damaged interface could force prolonged closures. Estimated completion, 2024-2025. But can a tiny test city teach the world anything? After a living laboratory, we face the biggest gamble in science. Number 4 on our City Tech track, Toyota Woven City, a $1 billion+ living lab beneath Mount Fuji. Core challenge, scaling autonomy, robotics, and hydrogen from demo to dependable daily life. Why it might fail, safety, privacy, and real-world complexity turning a showcase into an unlivable lab. Estimated completion, first phases mid-2020s, iterative growth into the 2030s, all of which pales next to caging a star. Wildcard, Nusantara, Indonesia's new $32 to $35 billion capital in Borneo's interior. Core challenge, building a government-grade city from scratch amid monsoons, ecology sensitivities, and supply chains stretched over jungle. Why it might fail, cost blowouts and environmental backlash before core agencies fully relocate. Estimated completion, late 2020s into the 2030s. Next is number 1, the riskiest machine ever built. We've crossed borders, seas, and mountains, burning through tens of billions. But number 1 is different. This isn't about moving people or water. It's about bottling a star. And if it fails, it could be the most expensive scientific failure in human history. Number 1. ITER. South of France, an international moonshot. The stakes. Everything. Prepare for the deep dive. Number 1. ITER. The most expensive and complex machine ever built. Now estimated beyond $60 billion after decades of delays. Core challenge, heat hydrogen plasma to 150 million degrees and confine it with superconducting magnets chilled near absolute zero. Hottest and coldest regimes separated by meters. A physics and materials nightmare. Why it might fail. Neutron bombardment can shatter the very walls meant to contain the reaction. It must also breed and handle tritium, rare, radioactive, and unforgiving of mistakes. And the Holy Grail, produce more energy than it consumes. Miss that mark, and it's a $60 billion lesson in limits. 35 nations, a bureaucracy as vast as the machine. Precision delivery, assembly, and governance must all align. Estimated completion, first plasma and meaningful runs in the 2030s. Critics argue those billions belong in proven renewables. Every delay fuels that fire. If ITER works, fusion could rewrite the global energy script. Dense, clean, virtually limitless. If it fails, it becomes a monument to hubris, the costliest scientific misstep in history. ITER, the binary bet of our century. From border bridges to sea tunnels, mountain rail to mirage cities, living labs to bottled stars, 10 colossal wagers in motion. They inspire awe and dread in equal measure. Because the bigger the dream, the bigger the fall. Which of these projects do you think will fail first? Or are they all worth the money? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to Facto for more insane engineering deep dives. Stay curious. Stay critical.